Hey people, what's up? Welcome back to a new Chill and Chat episode with Star Sketch. Let me move the mic a little closer, look a little bit more professional. Let me turn you guys down because my god. Yeah, so welcome. This episode, we are going to be talking all things spooky, scary, aka my favorite horror movies of all time. And I'm using my TV Time app, which, if you have not used it, um, I love this app. I know everyone's on like Letterboxd or whatever other platforms, but me and my boyfriend have been using. This hair is bothering me. Me and my boyfriend have been using TV Time for some time now, and we really like it to track our shows, track our movies, and this is not sponsored, by the way. I'm just honestly just sharing it with you all. And I just really like the layout. So if you want to go follow me on TV Time, I will leave my profile down below. So if you want to check out what I'm watching and what me and my boyfriend are watching, then you could definitely check that out. But yeah, I'm just gonna be talking about horror films, what I like, what I didn't like, and kind of just scrolling through my thing here to kind of talk about it. And yeah, I hope that you all enjoyed. And this is, of course, Chill and Chat. So cheers, everybody. I have my Pennifer here. I don't know the strain of this one. My dad just didn't want to finish it. So I was like, you know what? I'll take it. Peep the one piece of artwork in my background. Yeah, it's a slow work in progress, but I'm hoping to get this wall done this winter so you guys can see some fun things going on behind me. But without further ado, let's talk all things horror movies. So, just to preface, I freaking love horror films. I have been a die-hard horror fan for a long time, even though sometimes some of them will literally scar me for a little bit and I'll have nightmares about it, but then I just get over it. And honestly, you kind of need the shadow with the light, is what I've kind of learned in life. And as much as I love my Disney movies, my cartoons, my just wholesome stuff, I like to see a good murder every once in a while. I like to see a good slasher movie every once in a while. Like, I know it's not real, so it's like, just kind of an alternate universe thing. And you might be wondering, well, Erin, you have mental health issues. How does that, you know, um, affect your mental health with horror movies? It affects me in some ways. I will say that if I watch a new movie or something and I don't expect like a super scary scene or something, like for example, okay, this might, I don't know if it's a hot take actually. So I won't say it's a hot take, but I know it's like an actual like opinion of mine. I do not like horror movies that deal with any sort of animal death, and if I ever see animal death in a horror movie, I just immediately shut it off. Like for example, I remember watching this movie a few years ago called The Girl on the Third Floor, and I have never finished that movie because of the dog death scene. And yeah, so there's certain movies I will never, ever, ever watch or ever watch again for that matter if I find out that there's an animal death in it. But if it's people, it doesn't really bother me. I know that sounds like really weird, but it bothers me if it's an animal. But if it's a person, it's like, oh, that's cool, special effects. Like we love we love a good horror film, and I love paranormal things. Let's talk about the kind of horror movies I like, actually, first and foremost. I like slasher movies. I like paranormal, like found footage stuff. It's a good vibe. Um, I love just like creepy, scary, like all the like horror icons. And I'm trying to think of like what other. I'm not into like sci-fi horror or like monster horror per se, but I'm definitely, if I were to rank them, it would definitely be slasher up on the top. I don't know why, but I love slasher movies. And then I also love paranormal stuff, the found footage stuff. I also like psychological too, because that one really just like makes you think a lot too. Um, so yeah, I hope that pretty much covers the basis of what kind of horror we're going to be talking about. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first one I see, just like by scrolling of what I've watched, is It Chapter 2. Now, I need to rewatch this one because I don't really specifically remember everything, but I will say that it was a good sequel to the original It from 2017. But if I were to pick between the two, I really loved the first one. The second one, yes, there are very much scary parts, and it is a still good film. However, I love the first one just because I'm a sucker for the original movie. Like, I love sequels, don't get me wrong, if they do it right, but just the original, the first one, like, that's my ish. So, definitely liked It Chapter 2. Um, just, really prefer the first one, which is actually the next one to talk about, which is It from 2017. I actually recently watched this with my boyfriend. I have these like scratch off cards that he got us, and essentially, like, either in my own time or when we're hanging out, we can scratch one of the cards and it gives us a movie to watch. And I will be mentioning the ones that we have watched. We've only watched a couple, so but yeah. And the one of them, the first one we ever got was It from 2017, and this is like the top 50 horror movies of all time that it lists. So yeah. Um, but yeah, the original It is amazingly scary. I do not recommend it to anyone that's afraid of clowns. I know people in my life who are afraid of clowns, but clowns, honestly, they are scary in real life. Don't get me wrong, they're scary as hell, but it's not to the point where I'm like, you know, steering clear away from it. But yeah, so yeah, it was a good time. Scrolling up here more, this is just like all like Disney stuff I've seen. Scrolling more up, there should be more, I hope. Oh, here we go. The Black Phone. Also one of my all-time favorite horror movies of all time. I am so excited for the second one coming out. Literally, I think it's this weekend. And I kind of want to convince my boyfriend to go watch it. But yeah, first one, without saying too much if you've never seen it, um, it was so like enticing to watch. I have seen it probably about 10 times since the release, and I love it every single time. And my boyfriend watched it for the first time with me recently. So yeah, it's a definite vibe. I love the whole aspect of it, and I love the Black Phone, and I am so excited for the second one. It's so psychological. It's not slasher at all, which is weird that I love it so much, but it's definitely creepy. It's a vibe, and I love this kind of horror, and I highly recommend The Black Phone to anyone. Now we're getting into the good stuff. All right, the Terrifier series. This has got to be my all-time favorite horror franchise slash slasher series. Everything about Terrifier is so terrifying that literally I've had nightmares about Art the Clown, and I still am totally afraid of him. I love how one of my favorite heavy metal bands, Ice Nine Kills, did a song about it too, and I love how the newest Scary Movie 6 is going to feature a little part about Terrifier in it, and Terrifier is just my all-time favorite. So let's talk about them in order. So the first one, the first Terrifier, mind you, I still need to watch All Hallows Eve and the other like the prologue stuff before the original Terrifier. So just keep that in mind that I have not seen the original stuff, but I have seen Terrifier, Terrifier 2, and Terrifier 3. Um, so yeah. Terrifier, the first one. Oh my god, the build up of it and the slasherness of it, just so super scary. So like it's a classic series that I could literally just put on any of them and I'm going to have a good time. The humor in Art the Clown and his sadistic humor, I should say, is just hilarious to watch. I, again, don't recommend this to anyone that's afraid of clowns, but he's scary, okay? Like, but the thing is, I think I've had the most nightmares, though, about Terrifier with Terrifier 3. But let's get into Terrifier 2. I love the introduction of an actual story. I loved how Terrifier was more of a kind of just getting itself out there, and then now it's the storyline, which we meet Sienna and we meet her brother Jonathan, and the story of them, and then how we're slowly trying to learn of why Sienna is so important in the story of Art the Clown as well. And yeah, so Terrifier 2 was just a roller coaster ride dealing with, Sienna's first time on drugs and like her in the Halloween store getting her costume stuff. Like that iconic scene of freaking Art the Clown in the Halloween store with the sunflower glasses on. It kills me every time, that whole scene. And me and my boyfriend and my and our friend all have sunflower glasses now. We literally, like, when we went to the Ice Nine Kills concert recently and they were going to be obviously doing a work of art to their song, I was obsessed and we all just, needed to get the sunflower glasses. But um, yeah, Terrifier 2 is definitely a story buildup. And then we get into Terrifier 3, which was a fucking, oh my god, slasher. The one that gave me the most nightmares, especially, like, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to include spoilers here. So if you've not seen Terrifier 3 and want to see it, don't listen to this part. But in the beginning, where Art the Clown comes into that house and goes to each of the bedrooms literally with an axe and just slicing the crap out of this family, I literally, for nights on end, would be terrified that all of a sudden while I'm sleeping, that Art the Clown would come in and freaking axe me up. Like, I would literally have nightmares of it and everything. So that scene really fucked me up. And then I just love the fact that it's a Christmas movie. So now, whenever Christmas comes around or the Christmas season comes around, I have an excuse of another Christmas horror film to put on. But the story build up again with Sienna and Jonathan, and the fact that, just all the last scene too, where it's the whole thing about, the thorns and making it a little bit religious. Like there's a whole storyline to it. And that's what I love about it. It's so deep, but also not so deep. And it's also like just the kills in this one too. Like especially the shower scene one. Oh my god, so iconic, honestly. Um, so yeah, I love Terrifier, if you can't tell. So I could talk about Terrifier forever. But let's see what other ones are on here. Um, oh, Speak No Evil. Oh my god. Oh wait, I missed over another one, but I'll get into it in a second. Speak No Evil. Holy crap, Speak No Evil. That one, I hated the ending. I will say I did not like the ending. However, it was such a good, just overall film. Like, I'm not saying it's like a great, like, fantastic film or anything, but it's definitely one of those that I would recommend to any horror fan or people wanting to get into horror. I think this one should be on your list. What was the rating, anyways? Like, overall. Yeah, a lot of people gave it a 4 out of 5. Um, just oh my god, the two family dynamics. I'm looking at the characters again. The two family dynamics, the whole thing where it's not super horror-esque. I definitely would say it's more of a thriller and drama stuff. So if that's more your cup of tea, I recommend that. I also have here The Substance, which, oh my god, for body horror, this was a trip and a half. I will say that I loved this movie. I know a lot of people had different opinions on it and such, but I think overall, just for body horror in general, highly recommend. I also have Annabelle, which I've not seen in quite some time. However, it's, obviously, ah, no, I didn't want to choose him. Sorry, I almost like chose a favorite character and it was somebody I don't even really remember. Annabelle, though, is just a classic, doll horror movie, and who doesn't love a good doll horror movie, okay? Sometimes it can be a vibe, but sometimes, honestly, it can be a little annoying. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm gonna take a sip here. But yeah, honestly, Annabelle, great time. I also have The Shining. Honestly, The Shining is just overall probably one of the top favorite horror films. It's probably I'm gonna assume it's in the top 50 horror scratch off cards that I have. Like, if you want something psychological, horror, drama, red room, like it's iconic. It's one of those movies that you have to see because even the naked woman scene in the bathroom, the bar scene, the him being outside in the cold scene, like the typing scene, like oh, there's so many great moments in it. Honestly, one of my top favorite movies for to be honest. Um I also have the entire Saw series. I love Saw. If you can't tell, I love just brutal killings in horror films. Saw is one of those that I love because of the fact that freaking just the story, the mystery behind it, where they're trying to figure out what's going on, and then you're also trying to figure out what's going on as the thing goes. I literally have the entire Saw series except for like Spiral, I think, and 10 maybe. It's the first 8 ones, first 8 movies of the Saw series. That was just like my favorite, and so I saw that it was on DVD, and I still have a DVD player within my Xbox 360, and I watch DVDs with that, and I love that I have all those Saw movies, to be honest, and I just love it so much, and I just love Billy the Puppet, and you guys have probably seen in my artwork a lot of the different horror stuff that I like, and I definitely have done a Billy the Puppet painting, and that was awesome. Um, yeah, Saw, highly recommend to anyone getting into horror as well, or just overall a good watch. Teeth is also this one's a comedy horror, but honestly, it freaked me out a little bit. If you don't know, Teeth is about a girl who literally has teeth in her downstairs. So when she goes to have, you know, adult things with somebody else, do adult things with somebody else, yeah, you could probably imagine what happens. But yeah, this movie, I don't recommend it to everybody, but at the same time, if you're just looking for a good laugh, a good like what the fuck kind of movie, yeah, Teeth is one of those. The Purge series is also a classic that I love. I have Election Year on here, and then I've seen all the other ones. It's fine. I mean, it's killings, whatever. I wouldn't say the Purge series is one of my top things, but I literally used to be one of those people on TikTok. This was like a few years ago where I had like the Purge mask and I did dances and skits on there. I wasn't popular or anything, but I thought it was a vibe. So that's all I really gotta say about the Purge. The Invitation. Now this one me and my boyfriend saw recently because we were just like, we should watch The Invitation. Um, Honestly, totally recommend. It's a thriller film. and it is essentially just about how people come like back together, sort of a thing. There's a lot of things about cults in it. There's a lot of things. It was one of those that it was like it was a slow burn, I will say. To me, it was a slow burn. Um, but I do recommend it. I do recommend it. Alone, another thriller that my boyfriend hated. Hold on, let's take a hit for that. My boyfriend hated this whole concept. It was very um, just believable and just, like you knew what was going to happen. Predictable, I guess. And yeah, yeah, this one I enjoy. I've seen it a couple of times. But honestly, it's just one of those movies that you're either gonna love it or like it at least, and or you're gonna just hate it the whole entire time. But essentially, this woman is literally just trying to move out of her house and move into a new life after her husband passes away. And then there's this freaking weirdo that essentially kidnaps her and all this shit happens. So, yeah, watch it and let me know your opinion, is all I'm going to say. Next, we have Hellraiser, which was another one of those like scratch off ones that me and my boyfriend um, did. And honestly, for the time that it came out, when did it come out? 1988. Um, it was honestly a good film. I recommend it to anyone. It definitely gave 80s vibes for sure, which I love. I definitely want to see the rest of the Hellraiser series. It's definitely on my radar. But overall, I would say Hellraiser is another one of those horror icons that you just need to watch. Yeah. And it's body horror too, by the way, in it as well. So sci-fi body horror, just overall like I don't know how to explain it, but yeah. um, then the last one that we scratched off on the card thing was Hereditary drama horror suspense. This one I forgot was the movie that literally, again spoiler, that the girl when she's having an allergic reaction sticks her head out the window and then her whole head comes off from a telephone pole. Yeah. Forgot that was this movie. So when that happened, I was like, oh my god, I'm in for a ride. But yeah, I liked it. I liked it. I wouldn't say it was one of my favorites. It was okay. It was, one of those that I would definitely watch again, if given the opportunity. But it's not one of those ones where it's like Terrifier or whatever. But yeah, it's a good one, I will say. Now we're on our last three movies here to talk about. One that I forgot to mention was the Paranormal Activity series. I've seen the whole entire thing and I love it. It's one of those paranormal type video movies, and it's one that's entertaining and it's a good series, honestly, in my opinion. But now we're on the last three, and these last three I've all watched recently. So yeah, first is Terror Train and Terror Train 2, which if you have no idea what Terror Train is, essentially it's this movie series. The first one came out in 2022, and I guess it was a Tubi original, and I decided to watch it, and honestly, I'd give it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. It was one of those dumb, stupid horror films, honestly. Both movies were, honestly. Um, but I watched both because it was entertaining at the time, just to like kill time. It's a good background movie to watch. Nothing super scary, just a lot of people murdering. A lot of murders happens on this train. Um, if you want to watch a bad horror film series, I recommend this one. Yeah, this one, yeah, that's what I gotta say about it. And last but not least, recently I watched Barbarian. This one was definitely great. I give it a 4 out of 5 star. Definitely one that I would rewatch again. And this one is definitely one of those where it's one of those scary ones that you have to go down the stairs and see what's going on and It's always the basement, but there's a lot more to it, and yeah, yeah, that's all I gotta say about Barbarian. Trying to think if there's any other ones that I didn't mention. There's probably many others that I didn't mention that I don't have on my TV Time app. But essentially, a lot of the ones that I like, murder-based, slasher, paranormal, psychological. Yeah, that would be probably the best way to describe my taste. Um, but yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this, just talking about horror films with me. Let me know your favorite horror films down below, what ones you think I should watch, because I'm always looking for new horror films to watch, especially to add to my journal. I love making lists of things to watch. Like, I literally have, I'll show you real quick. This is like divided in half by shows and movies, but I have a list of things to watch. But I'd like to add more, so if you have any other suggestions, let me know. Um, but yeah, I hope that you all enjoyed this video, this chill and chat with me talking about horror films. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye, guys.